What is wrong with my shoulder? I don't know. Actually, I don't know how it is. You see, that's a lot different. So, like, when probably 14 years old, he asked you to sign up for the Air Force, right? Yeah, right. I mean, not to say that. Let's see. You see what I mean? I have people for everything. Then I have a naturals program, which are animals trained like Castoro. Most of them come up the coastline, up and down the coastline. And that's what they do. But sometimes they die. You know, it's not that they're not glorifying people, but they could de-glorify them, right? So in your brain, so at least according to that doctor, works this way, which is team positron, which are technical people. And what is your experience with them? Forget about dating. I mean, they don't want to hear. That's about as boring as it gets. Good point. But I can't get the job done without you. I mean, there's nobody else to do it. So then you automatically go back in the ditch. All these thousands of years. If I need, I mean, if the American people, which are not now, voted for a war, then we will start bringing the team back. So it's sort of like a resurrection. I have this already. See, so and I mean, if you look at this house, you know it's true precision, which is going to screw up the kid's brain signal. But that's what Grumman Aerospace Systems wanted. Like what's wrong with it? Like, I mean, they're really upset about that. That if you make that decision to borrow that money from Bill Clinton for whatever reason, then you sold the company to the Democratic Party, right? And then Democrats took over all of Long Island, right? So it's not like you listen to your father. That's what your father couldn't understand. There's something wrong with this kid, right? Yeah, but that was his family, which you would tell you have four chairs. You got to bait a fishing hook. You make a bunch of pictures of a family that let's say it falls for. Yeah, no gun for you. All right, it's not you. So this man you saw back that 18 truck into that's called a serenade, which is beat. You're done. It was only a 5-year contract. Nobody else could do it. I got what I want. I'm definitely not paying for it. I just fly in there and take it just to take him home. I would think they would expect that from the military. I think they would expect that. But that company, did he tell Boeing and the U.S. military, I got to take it away from him? So we beat the shit out of all those hounds we used to hang out with and all that stuff in the East End. You know? So if it's right, and it doesn't have to be because in your case, there is a report of a UFO abduction in Rock Island, Long Island, right? Yes. And then your mother got a 2004 check since you're about 5 or 7 years old, never to say something. So your father has something going. He has his own military pay, 2004 50 for your orphan check, and 2004 50 for UFO stories. If or what have. You never do know with true precision. There's no way for you ever to do what you would have to do. I mean, there's different people that do that. I have something for everybody. We got a couple different pros. It depends what you're talking about. That's if I want to make some, which I don't. I try to teach you. I don't want these people making military products and offering it to me. We make our own stuff, and you want one of those people, right? And so if I ask you to sit down, and that was when you were 21, you're 54, which to you is a terrible is. I mean, you didn't even complain, right? You didn't ask for money either, which I really like. You know what I mean? Out there, we have $6 million computer system to do it. Ultimately, what you do, a $6 million system replace you, which that's what I needed to know from you. What did they ask you? How do you run a program? Right. So there must have been some infighting there, whether we're going to do this with a calculator or we're going to do this with a $6 million computer, and which one of those companies really had $6 million for? So your father's company is the only one left, which in his mind, he does not have to do anything his boss said. You know what I'm saying? Like you bought all this different. I mean, he definitely would charge you All these tapes of stuff you made at the base, which is what he was supposed to do when he was 22 years old. But they don't put 25A in. They don't have the expressway out there, and there's no way to walk through that woods with coyotes and everything in it, which was a long time ago. So yeah, you're trying. If I'm watching you, you're trying to figure out. You're trying to figure out how to. You're trying to figure out the answer how to do that. It's not That's not your job. Your job is to go over here, not make a mistake, or if you do make a mistake, get out in the fucking street and start to that, right? And just get dead. Like I said, if I want to, if I do bring you back, as far as I'm concerned, there's no words, no nothing. And we told the people, stop voting for wars. I mean, yeah, half this military will do everything in their power to destroy everything made, which is what those two men did that went after your brother, knowing the inheritance is his. But if you wanted to know, you would have to get at with it. But they consider themselves men. I mean, your father passed away, but you'd have to go out there and steal something. Now, this is not something for you. This city of 4,000 has very few people in it, and something Grumman and Nasser, the military had we were working on, that we asked certain people like you, would you like to try this? But I don't ultimately know if it works. It doesn't really matter. Otherwise, there could be a lot of pain in it. So one thing you know about singles is you're a young kid, probably trained by NASA. There's shadow and light, right, and angle and all of that. And then the way the furniture is, which could ultimately really screw your shoulder up, right? Hmm. I think it's from the shots. I don't think they ever clean those needles. Yeah, good point, but how many did they tell you to take? 24. I mean, they give you it's 54. And then, I mean, what did Towers tell you? Not to go to the hospital unless you got cash, no matter what it is. So I mean, this is really weird. Tell me I got a problem. Which is another thing. Can I stay off medication 2 more weeks? I mean, I like my mind like this. I really do. Yeah. I forget what that program is. You have a guarantor check. Yeah, you do the whole program, which I didn't pick. They just arrested me for it. It was, I mean, then call my phone, ask for money. Watch this. Is he ever gonna get fucking pissed off? That's his money. Just stop stealing from him. But he might play that. I mean, he always put it back in play to see what he can steal from them. Yeah, comes or otherwise. So yeah. But at least according to him, it's a figure eight brain symbol, which was confused with bipolar or manic depression, I think, at the time. Which is not doing that. It's what they call psychotic, this one. This particularly, and it looks like this, it does not have, it has some hair, but it's evaluating right from wrong, which is a psychotic. You don't go into a city and what's right and wrong here, which is the problem you have. I mean, the more you, and then put them into sales, that's a difficult situation. We need medication, all kinds of things, right? Mm-hmm. So team policy tool, which we would like to try in a true precision environment, they're ruining a light in your arm. They're putting a bend in your, in your single, right? I really could use it for other purposes if I can break that single. Every time I do, your heart goes, your kidney goes, your calves go, right? So it's probably not going to work out. But it is done with all the system. You had a whole thing. You put continuous, consistent, and constant, which I really needed somebody. As far as we know, you're the only one with the telepathy system off the satellite. So I put it on to put it, but if I do, it's a radioactive thing. You'll always be contaminated and have cancer and radiation. If you try to understand it, there's one thing this military would do is try to kill a glorified person. You know what I mean? Like, even since you're either 5 or 7, as far as I know, you're dead already, which is your father got a kick out of it. I mean, they all did kick this kid's ass, but it's really hard. Every seventh year, you have an idea of a great product, and then it gets stolen. After you do the work, they steal it from you. And then we'll try to kill you, right? Yes. So, but that's not life, you know. When you're talking about somebody here, that's just not possible, right? You're talking about Brooke Shields, yeah. So you could catch something in the newspaper, find it really interesting, but that's that rip off. You know what I mean? You still a kid. Mm. But we would do something for you and her too, which your parents told you no. You know what I'm saying? But we would do something. But that's it. But see, you say that's a good point. See, I mean, you're evaluating what's right and wrong, which you probably do need for that job. We put you on, which we would not know was done a long time ago. Because I don't have somebody to do what you do, and I don't have anybody else. So if I want to make, if I take a mechanical drawing table and make a mechanical part, and I want to know what the points are, then I would have you sit down. And I built the Casio company, I built the Automatic company, and I built machine shop. That's all I do. But Long Island's, so long sought your father's company and sought to kill you as a means to shut down the military, which I did, no more. But I say your father could do that because as far as he's, if he can prove his point, he has a job shop or a production shop, which has nothing to do with anybody else. But even still, even if you say that, it doesn't mean anything to a lot of people, which he spent his whole life on. It's nobody else's. But that whole philosophy of those men where you have to take it away from. So he lived his life. What would I do to a man like that who worked all his life and did an outstanding job? And I think that's really nice of him to raise you. But I would think that's a major problem to raise a kid like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I would think to do the truth. I mean, it's like psychiatry figured out with you. This kid's impossible. I mean, he never learns his lesson. Every time he does the truth, he gets everybody in trouble, including himself. Even like your own journals. I mean, self-incriminating things. Not too many people would do that. So, like the man that hit with 18 on the truck would spend his whole life in prison as a man sent to kill you. I mean, there's no really way of getting at that particular police who arrested you when you're 21, right? Mm. Yeah, which, and as you know, no drinking, driving, no going out. For somebody like you, no bar. You having a good time? If I give you $20 on the street, what you're gonna do is same thing everybody else. Let's go sit down, have a beer. Are you allowed to do it? No. Which, because the next point is you get arrested. It throws kid out of here. But I might not have done with the program. Then you have to see. I mean, once you saw opening night, or I forget which was maybe 91, 92, until you get lost with the rest of the positive. You get rid of the 30,000 employees. All you may go find something to do. You did pretty good with that. That's really good, but it wouldn't be anything other than what you said, and that bonus would only look to take what he can rip your father off of. Right. Yeah, I see. You see what I mean? Because they're not that way, those men. But I think if I put a bunch of training tips, you're gonna have a hard time with it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I have a 25 million, or I had a $25 million 8-acre waterfront property merchants bank, but not no more. Was either right? So you had a good time with Michael and they're special people. But usually we just sit back and watch this. So it was really an interesting thing. It worked out really good. And from your father's perspective, at 16, maybe or 17, he told you to your shower should get out the door at 5 o'clock. And then he gets a phone call. His son's here, which he had a shit for. He took streets out of there and go down and straighten you out. He told you to go steal something. He's stealing that one. You don't go. What do you think you're doing? Or go down the street and steal out. See, then at that point you would have asked us. And for positive to them all, right? So now we got these 15 cities in the woods, and we want them to do their own machining, right? That's a tough situation with various people. That's a tough job. Like the problem you're having in your muscles and everything. But so is all of them, yeah. And I could get into a melee, which is probably what happened in the back of your head like that. But I mean, was for somebody that I would have to have somebody with the privacy in terms of use outstanding. Watch this as soon as you're done. Now talk about that. You had a system, right? Or you went to Martinique with something with Brooke, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right. And then you get there, and there's an airplane that says the plane crashed, which is if I get into flight 800 TWA and search and rescue Long Island, It traces back to that crash of money and traces back to Da Vinci, with Castoro shields on board with 3-month-old babies. See, there's no point because as far as I know, the only one still alive is your mom. So usually they are people that are considered constants, Terry, Phyllis, and you, the creation. But and one thing they didn't know on the land, what is a glorified person? What happens if I punch the shit out of it? His bones get broken. So then what point is there to have a glorified body? As a young kid, you would not know they're doing that to you, other than, I mean, look at yourself. Yeah, and that's only 54 years old, but that's pretty good. And you know you can't have long hair. You know you have to shave. You know how to do this. You know you're getting awfully heavy. So, and then you got the snake bite. But, they want to check all that. So, like we were talking to your father's house up the road. There's this kid, a stupid idiot. So you've been signed into DOD Galactic, and I never sit you up on. But that's a coward's in Long Yeah. I mean, how can you expect you to do it? No. Your father's right. No matter what it is, go to act. But not any of this stuff. I mean, these guys do this. I mean, they just know it. They just know what it is. And that's how they do have it. Mm. So I say there's a problem if you click the system up. Now, if somebody comes in here, doesn't know, and it comes on, you can really hurt somebody with this. But you've been working on it since you're 27, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good point. You write this to, you must have saw someone bring you can write to it. No, she's harvesting scripts. Which, if I think anything, you wrote into that automatic capture tool, did you? Yeah. It just makes the movie, doesn't it? Yeah. When you put the pictures of the person, yeah. I mean, see, that's the problem. Like you said, in a machine shop, if you want something made, you got to pay your father. Especially these days, after 50 years, they get cash. They take cash only, right? Cash advance, right? So at his point, at 10 years point, you ain't getting that from me. How do I know you know what you're doing? So many people steal from this government, it's mind blowing, but you never did. So I already know not to put you into that situation. But if it comes on and you want to evaluate, go ahead, but it doesn't work that way. Your mind is not capable of comprehending what these men know, and brain cell is not the same. So punch out.